what's going on? Welcome to episode 4. It's been kind of a lazy, hazy weekend. Hell yeah. So, before we get started, I want to thank my past 3 guests for being a part of this. It's been really fun. It's a decent distraction, and it's a fun show. So I want to thank Brian, I want to thank Stavros, and I want to thank Nick for being a part of it. Tonight we have of West End Motel, Tommy Cheshire. Uh-oh, he's on here now. Let's bring him on. All right. Tom!
Oh my goodness, how you doing?
Dude, what's cracking? How's it going, man?
I'm doing good. How are you, Mario?
It's a Monday. It's a day off, so rested for a change. That's very rare.
Right.
You know?
You look good. You look well rested.
Yeah, feeling good. Feeling good. You look like you're down in hot Atlanta with the shades. What's the weather like down there?
I am. It's actually beautiful out today. It
Mhm.
rained the whole weekend, and the weather's been kind of gnarly, but it's
Mhm.
been really, really, really beautiful today. I'll take it. I'll take any nice weather. Good day to cast a vote in. It's a good day to vote.
Yeah, I voted last weekend. I got my mail-in ballot, so I did that. Then I dropped it off at the county office building because I work right across the street from there. So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
where are you?
man,
Yeah, where are you? Are you outside? You're in Pennsylvania, is it?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, beautiful town,
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, it is. It is an interesting city. It really is. It's unique. It's got a little bit of everything. It's cool.
Yeah, I
So,
haven't been there forever, but I know it's gorgeous.
yeah, man. So yeah, thanks for being a part of this episode. Thanks for being a part of week 4. It's been really exciting, and when I get people like you who are interested in being on it, it's always exciting. So, I just figured, fucking, let's keep this shit rolling.
Yeah, well, thank you for inviting me, and I know we certainly have a lot of friends in common,
Yep.
musicians and artists, and
Yep.
I feel like we've been probably like ships passing in the night a million times. I think you were supposed to come to a couple of shows of ours on the
Right.
East Coast, but the
Right.
weather
Right.
didn't, the weather didn't allow it at one point, which I understand, and I just feel like I almost know you
Oh yeah.
because I know we've like been to places that we've gotten a message from you that you said hi, or that you wish you could have been there, so
Oh
thank
yeah,
you.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it's weird. The more shows you go to, the older you get, the more you rub shoulders with people, and the more people
Hmm.
you get to know, and then you find out they know so and so, and hey, it's all good. We're all in this little creative boat together, I guess.
Right. Well, I see my friend Chad Radford is on, who's a big supporter of mine for 20 years. He just
What
said
up, Dad?
Pittsburgh has good record stores.
Yep.
Pittsburgh does have good record stores and
Yes, we
great
do.
and great bookstores too. Yeah.
Absolutely. We got
Yeah.
shit.
I think did Pittsburgh have like a witch? Speaking of October and Halloween and us kind of getting into that stuff, did Pittsburgh have a strong witch presence at some point, like 100 years ago, or no?
You know what? I'm not quite sure. Like,
Well, that's too
um,
bad.
I wouldn't, we definitely have some urban legends here.
Hmm.
We have, in the 60s, when my mom was in her early teens, there was this girl who was killed in a car wreck, and her parents built a statue in the graveyard of her just like walking around this little path. And the
Right.
hippies, and not just the hippies, but the kids in that era used to like to trip acid and sit in the graveyard and watch it. And if you were tripping enough, it looked like she was walking. So they called her
Wow.
Walking Rosie. And that was kind of a little urban legend. Then we got Green Man's Tunnel. Some guy killed in some electrical thing. I don't know.
Wow.
I mean, Pennsylvania has because we have Gettysburg, and that's
Of
pretty
course,
much,
yeah.
that's pretty
Yeah.
much, if you believe in ghosts, that's a place. Even if you don't believe in ghosts, I'm sure it has pretty bad vibes.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm just always interested in towns that have a witch presence. I know that Baltimore for a while,
Mhm.
years back, had a really big witch presence, and it's always interesting to hear the back end stories on that. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm sure I've made out with several women who claim to be witches at one point or another, and that's wonderful. And I think they've given me good juju. So, praise be to whatever Wiccan god, whatever.
Well, yeah, I
So-
mean, I think that's what we're both getting at anyway. I mean, we're big fans of them. So what
Right,
we don't think we think they get a bad rap, and they haven't been given enough credit. So we're trying to tell them wherever you are, whoever you are, wherever you are, come out of your hiding and because we want to represent you. You know.
right, right. Which is a perfect segue to promote West End Motel's newest single, "All Them Witches."
Yeah, thank
Bam,
you so much, man. See, I mean,
bam.
I was made to do this, to do the interview with you. I'm providing you the segues and everything. Yeah,
That one was clean. I loved it.
yeah. Thank you very much. That was an alley oop. Yeah, I mean, we're big fans of witches for sure, and this would be a second song with witch in the title. The
Mhm,
first one, was Brent and I a few years ago, and that one kind of like definitely took a darker turn in the lyrics. But
mhm.
this one is purely like a love song. It's basically it talks about maybe a couple of people who've done us wrong, but then sure enough, like the good witches were there. Like I fell down, you lifted me up, you kissed me on the neck, you
No,
patted you patted me on the hip, and you said, "Yo, you got this. I love you." And
right?
we really believe in them and want to give them uh, tremendous tremendous props. And this time of year is the best for that. I mean, it's on everyone's mind.
Yeah, man. So yeah, so the let's this is a perfect segue into what this little countdown's all about. I talked to
Mhm.
guests about I see George Romero's town, absolutely. I could tell some
I
stories,
see,
but
I see my boy Jason Stevens and Chad Rad
what
and
up,
Steve
Chad Rad,
and,
Jason Stevens, how's it going?
Vanessa and everyone. Big ups, love. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna let you continue with that. I'm just giving my big quick
Yeah,
hot ups.
yeah. I'll say what's up to everybody. I'll even get on some George Romero stuff every episode,
For
especially when
sure.
I'm from out of town. Got to go into George Romero because, uh, you know, I grew up in the mall that Dawn of the Dead was filmed at. Like I grew up going here. That's my mall, and
Yes.
my uncle was in Night of the Living Dead and worked with George Romero before he was a film director. So I have that. But let's get to you. The
Yes.
some horror films and things that maybe you have nostalgic around this time of year. We could
Yeah.
even talk music, but definitely some horror films that you could remember or Halloween memories that you could remember and want to
Wonderful.
share.
Yeah, wonderful. I mean, it's so funny because I know we were chatting about this the other day, and I'm I'm pretty bad about trying to like get things done these days. And we talked about a list of favorite horror movies, and
Hmm.
I think you even said the number six, which I love for 666, and
Yeah,
tonight even us meeting at 6 o'clock, and I was like, yeah, all right, let me do this, let me
yeah.
write this, and I think I told you the other day I'm nursing a broken foot,
Oh, I
and
didn't know that one. That sucks.
I'm on all kinds of meds. So everything I said I was going to do, I did not do. I did not do. But we did talk about not only horror films, we talked about just wonderful memories. So I think
Yeah,
like
yeah,
off,
absolutely.
off the top of my head, for sure, Halloween, the original, just everything about it. Like, I
Hmm.
mean, you could smell certain scenes in it.
Hmm.
The music, the timing in it, the walking in it. Halloween was I think was probably the first, I guess, horror movie or scary movie that got me just saying, okay. I know I'm going to be a fan of
Yeah.
this genre, you know. And then you mentioned Romero, like so. I mean, definitely Night of the Living Dead, but
Hmm.
I also started thinking about okay, well, and we can certainly dissect each of these films if you like, but I started thinking about like, well, I'm a huge Leatherface fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, hell yeah. I don't think we've covered that movie yet
Yeah,
on this series. We may have dabbled with it.
right.
We definitely talked about the remake because one
Yeah,
episode we talked about how sometimes remakes can work for the better, or at least for
sure,
their
sure.
own thing. But
Well, and the thing is like around that time, you know, like just the '70s, everything was still so new, and
mhm.
when it was done right, you know, it was well, they knocked it out of the park, and I felt that way about for sure Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know, man, I'm trying to think. I'm drawing such a blank right now. The Exorcist was on my list as well, but
Oh yeah.
I don't really know what you're considering um, to be horror, but I guess everyone handles it differently. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think Exorcist is an interesting one where it could be considered, I think I've even talked about that often because it's one of my favorite movies, not
It's
just horror
so good.
movies, but if you pretty much take out Reagan and the levitation and all that, it's pretty much a family drama and a murder mystery.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
yeah,
A very
and
patient,
if you
you
take
know.
out those scenes, there's certain places not too far from where I'm sitting right now in this parking lot. I'm not going to say where, but
Mhm.
like in the South, there's certain elements of that movie that are very believable.
Mhm.
You know, just because of the way people view religion, and you know, if you believe in religion and you believe in God, you almost certainly believe in the exact opposite of that.
Mhm.
You believe that that stuff can happen. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it was a good marketing campaign for the Catholic Church. I think the MPAA had like half a dozen priests on the board, so they had no problem putting that movie through with an R rating. You know.
Right, right. Um, I almost think, when did they? I guess what was the first? What was the first? I guess it was. Well, man, you're the film guy, Mario.
Okay, I'm trying.
What was the first X-rated movie? It was Midnight Cowboy, correct?
Yeah, I believe that
I
was
believe.
the first
Yeah,
major X-rated film. Yeah.
yeah. So, what was the first X-rated, you know, horror
Uh,
film?
The Devils, maybe?
The Devils.
Is
Okay.
it Ken Russell? The Devils? It may
Mhm.
have been one of them. I know there's been several, or I don't know, because I think maybe Clockwork Orange, I believe, predates that. I'm not going to
Was
pull up
Clockwork Orange
IMDb,
considered
but
rated? That's a great Halloween movie, by the way,
it is. It is
and it
really
certainly has
odd because
a
it
bunch
isn't
of
a
horror
horror.
in it.
Hmm.
And that's one of the few books that I've probably revisited from
Hmm.
like being an adolescent to in my 20s. I've probably read it 3 or 4 times, and
Hmm.
a film maybe 10 or 15 times, and every time there's something in it that even though I think I've seen it all,
Hmm.
uh, I'm like, man, holy shit, you know, that shit's real and it's scary, you know.
Oh yeah, it's. I first saw that movie around Halloween time when I was a teenager because at our local video store that ended up in the horror section. So, and I've always heard of it, and the poster sure as hell with the dagger and
Oh,
everything sure as hell looked like it could be some sort of slash or whatever, but I wasn't expecting all that. It was a pretty rough movie to watch as a young man because it was so primal and everything was so perverse and yet it was so well done
so
that
well
you
done.
couldn't look away, you know?
Yeah, and everything like the timing to it and the violence to the soundtrack was just
Hmm.
phenomenal.
Hmm.
So good.
And Malcolm McDowell's narration was so like he just read it just as is and You know, it's an interesting movie because that's another one that can fall under many categories. I mean, it really is. It's frightening. It should be. If it isn't, then maybe you should watch it again, I guess, you know?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, either way, you should watch it again. I think I'm going to watch it. My younger brother met Malcolm McDowell at a restaurant in New York
Hmm.
a few years back, and I think they both knew someone, so they were able to actually talk. And
Hmm.
my brother was just like the whole time. I just kept on picturing scenes from Clockwork Orange, and
Right.
I wanted to ask him so many things, but I'm sure he's been asked everything under the sun. So he didn't, but he just said, no, I just stood there and shook my head, my eyes, my eyes hung on every word of his.
Hmm.
And he goes, at certain points, I just had chills going up and down my arms, and I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I would as well.
Yeah. I mean, you know, from what I've seen in interviews, he seems to be a perfectly decent gentleman. It's probably why he played that role so perfect because he's so opposite. But and
Yes.
yet the narration he was easily able to talk about these things as a matter of fact, you know,
Yeah,
rape
yeah,
and
I think
whatnot.
yeah, I think he's just this tremendous, fine, classic English, classic gentleman,
Hmm.
and nothing like that character,
Oh yeah.
which will shock you, even more. But then also attests to what a great talent, he was to do that.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So
Um, yeah, I'm forgetting numbers. I'm trying to think of how many movies I've mentioned to you, and
okay.
I'm
Chad Rad's bringing up the Changeling. Have you ever
oh,
seen the
nice.
Changeling?
Yes, but that has been forever, man. Hey, Chad, do you know who Chad Radford is, Mario?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, you guys need to follow each other.
Okay.
Chad put out the first West End Motel 7-inch.
Okay.
And he's an artist and a writer and just a great human, and more than that, great friend. And he was putting out some strange, left of center artists back in the day,
Hmm.
and he had some faith in myself and Mr. B. Hines. And
Hmm.
we were just two-piece bands,
Hmm.
Brent playing an acoustic and me banging on a bucket, and they were very much primitive, songs like 30-second snippets of uh, very much like, Muddy Waters and Tom Waits and Howlin' Wolf doing acids, just
Hmm.
snippets of that. And then it's grown into something else. But Chad is fantastic, and we get together and have think tanks from time to time and talk about everything you and I are talking about right now. So that's wonderful,
Nice.
how we
Nice.
how we can grow as people, how our ideas, our views on things, and art and literature and film and music.
Yeah.
Oh, so,
Yeah.
and then the problem is I know we're such fans of old stuff, and so I was trying to think of something new, and I really did like, and I went to see it in the theater in New York. I really liked. I know it got some shit for it, but I really liked Devil's Rejects as well, which was
Yeah.
a Rob Zombie film that came
Hmm.
out. I think it came out in the fall of 2005. I'm guessing.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
2005, 2006. Yeah, that was legitimately. I mean, I really enjoyed it. You know, um, and other stuff that's coming out like recently. I mean, I do watch them, but nothing is stuck out right now in my head. I'm sure some of your followers
Hmm.
or dad or one of my friends can be like, "Yo, you forgot this one," but I'm sorry if I am forgetting them because I know, in that genre there are 1,000 really bad um, horror films, but there are
Oh yeah.
there are
Oh
there are a
yeah.
couple of hundred fantastic that are wonderful that
Yeah.
I'm getting right now. You know,
Yeah. There's been some good trends lately. The more slower, patient horror films, Hereditary, The Witch.
yeah.
Uh, The Witch was, I mean, I can't say enough about that movie. I'm so
So
mad I
good.
missed it in the theaters, but it was definitely an interesting movie. Probably one of the more effective Satan-y kind of movies. You know, it just
Right.
was a whole different take on it. You
Sure.
know, there's no priests, no exorcisms. It's just a ballad of hopelessness
I
and
love that.
hope. You know.
Well, listen. Just like the witches, Satan doesn't get enough props either. You
Yeah.
know, you know, we're big fans. We're big fans, and we write about him as well. You know, we think he throws really good parties, and
Hmm.
we're totally
Yeah.
supporters of that. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Chad is saying Starry Eyes. You're next.
Yeah, I
Starry Eyes
haven't seen
and
Starry Eyes
Starry
yet,
Eyes
but I've seen Your
and you.
Next. And Ty
Yeah,
West
you're
is
next.
awesome. Very good.
Yeah. Um, I haven't seen either one of them, Chad. So thank you, and I will check them out. And for sure, Mario and I will talk again.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
it's just this time of year is always good to talk about this stuff. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, like, you know, it's a good theme for the show because I've been, you know, I think I told it to you when we were talking. I'm not a big fan of streaming my talk
No, I
shows
love
for
the way
like
you
a
do it.
live audience, you
Yeah,
know. I like to be around people. I like the whole party of it and the whole
sure.
comedy of it. And I actually feed the guests of my show. So like I'll cook a whole meal and then people show up to
Oh,
I do it at a coffee shop called Black
wow.
Forge, and
Big thing. I didn't know.
the
I didn't
guests show
know.
up early,
Yeah. So
and we
before
all eat dinner.
Yeah, before the pandemic, you were actually doing this like live, sitting down at a table with someone.
Yeah, yeah, I
Oh, very
do.
cool.
It's kind of like a Tonight Show format. I have a house band. They're called Uke and Tuba. They're a ukulele and tuba group who cover pop
Wow.
songs and punk songs, and they're
Great.
really great. They bring a good vibe. They're very humorous, and they're very talented too. Like they did a really awesome cover of Nazi Punk's "Fuck Off" with a tuba and a ukulele,
Excellent.
and it was a good show intro. You know. They've covered a lot. So they'll come out, do their thing. We do the monologue. It's a very Tonight Show, but for live audience in a little place with local talent, local celebs, or even people from out of town. If they're in town, I'll have them on, you know.
Right. I have a feeling that song, which is a great song anyway. I mean,
Hmm.
Dead Kennedys, I think, have one of the bands that had just aged. They've aged better than most bands. They sound so good. But I have a feeling that song has been covered more than ever this year
Yeah.
because of the current climate. You know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you know, I, recently there was rumors here in Pittsburgh. Well, I don't know if they were rumors. I think they were pretty true of a few neo-Nazi punk shows or basement
Messed
shows,
up.
whatever, in the area, and everybody's been keeping an eye on them. And I've kind of stayed out of politics online just because um, most of the people I keep on my social media know where I stand, and
Right.
you know, I don't want to be and someone else in the echo chamber saying the same shit. You know what I
I know
mean?
what you're saying. Yeah. Mhm.
But, you know, every once in a while, I'll post a couple songs that either express what I'm feeling through the song and the artist song, you know, or, you know, like White Man and Hammerstein by The Clash, White
Great
Youth,
song.
Black Youth, Better Find a
Yeah.
Better Solution. I mean, that's beautiful. Like, why would I have to say anything when I could just share that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can never go wrong with uh, posting Joe Strummer and the Clash in my eyes. You know.
Right.
Yeah. I think just also having it sounds like your house band who sound brilliant by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Like their take on it and it being sarcastic. People
Mhm.
get people get it. You know.
Right, right. And I mean, you know, it's one of those songs too where it's just like it never fails. You know, it never
Right.
fails. You know. But I mean, the Dead Kennedys. I mean, they got so many other songs, but that one just what is it? Less than 2 minutes long, and it just
It's so
hits.
good. They're so musical. That's what that to me. Like I've been listening to them actually lately, and
Hmm.
they just the songs I knew were great, but
Hmm.
like just the guitar, the bass player, and drummer, they're so tight and so musical. You know,
Hmm.
I'm not using best words to describe anybody.
No, no, but that's
Right now,
perfect.
I'm so
Musicals,
sorry,
because
but no,
everything else was about. A lot of the other bands were about attitude. I think Black Flag was, excuse me, Black Flag was pretty much about precision. You know, I know they were hard workers, but there was just something odd, just different odd time signatures with Dead Kennedys. You know.
sure. Yeah, no, I agree. I think if I had to say right now in this car who has aged the best from that time period, I would
Mhm.
say Minor Threat and Dead Kennedys to me have aged the best. Like
Mhm.
the songs to me sound better now than they did then, and they
Right.
sounded fucking fantastic then. So that's
Yeah, man. Oh yeah. And then there's the Misfits, which
a good Halloween band.
great Halloween. I know you liked my one quote when I said I've been through worse, but I've never been through weirder about this
Yeah, I love
year.
that quote. Yeah, thank you for that quote. That was great.
It's just wear that badge of honor. I think everybody should relook at their life and what you've been through in worse times, and then look at now and say, okay, I can get through this. But
Sure.
there was another one I used to do. I think when I was doing stand up around Halloween time, I would always do like a little bit about Danzig. At least if I knew there was an audience who would get it. And
Right.
what Nat King Cole is to Christmas, Danzig is to Halloween. You
Very
hear
true.
his crooning in the Misfits and Samhain, and you're like, dude, it's fucking Halloween. I feel great, you know?
Oh yeah. Listen, those songs have aged well as well. I mean, the recordings might not be that good, but also that might be part of the magic of it. I mean,
Yeah.
I saw, I guess one of the first reunion shows with Glenn singing and
Hmm.
Dave from Slayer playing drums,
Hmm.
uh, 2016 in Chicago, and
Hmm.
man, I had a smile. Well, look at me and smile now.
Yeah.
Smile from ear to ear. I was singing and dancing and hugging people and laughing the whole time. It was
Yeah.
euphoric. It was great.
Yeah, I'm so bummed I never got to see any of the Misfits reunion shows. I did see he did a Danzig Legacy show where he pretty much
Yeah,
played just the legacy of Danzig, and then for the encore brought out Doyle, and they did about a half an hour of Misfit songs straight. So I at
yeah,
least got to see him perform Misfits,
yeah.
which was, I mean, it's about halfway there because the production of the reunion shows was just ridiculous. It was just
Right.
fucking the biggest thing in the world, and they look like
Yeah.
the biggest band in the world. And
Right.
uh, you see the bootlegs of them from back in the day, and they're literally playing VFWs, and now they're playing like soccer
Yeah.
stadiums and shit.
VFWs, and garages in New
Hmm.
Jersey. They're lucky. Yeah, and then they sold out Madison Square Garden last year, which is
Right.
yeah insane. That's unreal. Good for them. I mean, hey man, they played Madison Square Garden.
I
That's
find it inspiring. I mean, at least there's still a weird will to be weird. People still give a fuck, and it's all this anticipation over the years. It's just fucking. I'm sure they're gonna do more. You know.
yeah. Before all of this world fell upside down, I think they were going to try to do one in Mexico City,
Hmm.
and one in somewhere else. But yeah, I mean, it is pretty. I'm just thinking about 2 nights. I think 2 nights in a row. It was like Madison Square Garden, then the next night Giant Stadium, or something like that,
Right.
in
Right.
Jersey. That right there is, to think that that many people, are like-minded, like, in the same way that they at least appreciate, like you
Hmm.
talked about horror films and
Hmm.
and maybe at one point when they were kids felt like weirdos, and that many people who are like-minded, holding arms is
Mhm.
pretty amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I just watching the shots of it online. I wish I was there. I'm usually out of vacation time by October, so once their shows rolled around, they were like December, November. I had no
Right.
vacation time, or like I'm the first motherfucker to jump on a plane and just to see a show
Yeah.
for one night, fly back the next
Yeah.
morning, and just the timing didn't play out like that. But
Yeah.
hey, there's always a future. I mean, I think there's going to be so much to recoup from after this, and artists are going to be even
Yeah.
hungrier to get out there. That
Without a doubt. Yeah.
right,
Look at Chad. Chad says, Misfit Sam Hames, Dancing are the
right.
greatest. Yeah, that's cool.
Veronica,
What's up, Chad?
Veronica
I
was rough.
agree. Yeah. It was it rough to watch?
I mean, I put it on. I started watching it, and like at this point, I call Danzig Uncle Danzig,
Yeah.
and like I love him, but every once in a while he makes these moves where it's like, I'm glad you're doing it. I'm proud for you, but and bless your heart. But then at the same time, like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Right.
But I'll power through it. He deserves it. He's entertained me over the years so much. I'll stick through Veronica, I guess.
Right. Right. Yeah. I'm sure I'll watch it at some point. I'm not doing much these days. Laying
Mhm.
low with all this that's going on. So
Right.
I've been watching a lot of films and catching up on a lot of reading of
Mhm.
um, books that I've been wanting to read for the longest time.
Mhm.
And, before this, I felt like I was working, I guess 7 days a week, 7 nights a week, and
Mhm.
and you know, I almost feel like I'm that, you know, all of this, we should learn from things in our life, So
Oh,
I
absolutely.
almost feel like, yeah, if this shit's going on, maybe we should all be like, all right, well, silver lining to this is I know what I need in my life and I know what I don't need, and there's a lot of
Mhm.
shit that I don't need, but what I do need is my friends and my family and art and music
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
hugs and kisses and maybe whatever, just like the simple stuff, and
Absolutely.
that's the stuff,
Right.
so
Right. And I mean, and like I said earlier, and you probably totally feel it that, like we've all been through shit, but we've never at this point where everything turned off, and it's almost like the silver lining, I'd say, is you can focus on you for the moment. You don't have to
exactly.
focus on everything. I mean, of course, get out and vote. Let's get this shit over with.
Yeah,
But for the
me
most
too.
part, worry about yourself, drink water, take vitamins, get some air,
Go for a
you
walk.
know, shut the fucking
Go,
news off.
yeah, go,
Fucking
go go for a hike, drink a smoothie.
there you go. There
Yeah.
you go. Or if you want to
Can I,
just feel like
yeah,
shit one day, just feel like shit. It's okay. But it's on you to do that. You know.
yeah, yeah, without a doubt. That's a really good point. And I've been thinking about all of that, all of those things lately,
Mhm.
and I find myself, I'm a big fan of the yellow sticky note, so
Mhm.
I have thoughts and things come to mind, and I write them
Mhm.
down, and then next thing you know, 3 weeks later, I got 1,000 yellow sticky notes all over my fridge and my
Mhm.
walls,
Mhm.
and I'm like, what the heck? And then I find one from 3 weeks ago, and it says shave and get a haircut, you know, and I forgot to do that, but it's those simple things we need to reconnect with.
Right.
And I do believe you're right about hopefully when all of this ends, everyone is itching and scratching and itching and so hungry to get out and do things. But there are going to be some amazing nights and amazing records and amazing
Oh yeah.
uh, reconnections for sure.
Mhm. Yeah. It's. you know, and I mean, you could speak too because you're an artist working on a new record right now.
Yeah. Hmm.
I mean, it's pretty much in your hands, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's been a hell of a time to get and write and focus and, you know, I mean, you know, when I was in music and I used to write, I mean, it was always the same patterns, but I
Right.
never was going through anything like this. So
Yeah.
I could just imagine, you know, but it is a perfect time to shut off though and do your thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a unique opportunity, and everyone handles it differently. I think when our full piece of art comes out, which may be 10 or 12 or 14 songs, I think some people you may listen to it and be like, holy shit! Well, I certainly could tell from talking to Tom or Brent,
Hmm.
that I can tell that this record was done during a pandemic. The way
Right.
they're things that are pieces, whatever. But what are you gonna do? Not do it? Some of
Exactly.
some of the songs were certainly ideas that I had before this was going on, and I
Hmm.
actually had a theme uh, for the record before the pandemic was happening, and it wasn't too far from this, but then what the stuff that's been going on, I've changed it and I've gone back and changed like lyrics to songs to like try to make them more talk from like you know the crotch and the heart to like what's
Hmm.
going on now, like
Hmm.
the originally the record was about like I wanted it to be like us kind of living in the gray, like no longer living in the black or the white and finding like peace,
Hmm.
and that's still there's still an element of that in the songs, but now there's honesty and there's certain songs that you can just tell, well, no, we're fearful of of not knowing what's going on or what's
Right.
happening,
Right.
and I'm very cool with that. The guys are very cool with that. We've
Hmm.
always we've always wanted to be people who speak from the hip, honesty, on the sleeve kind of thing,
Hmm.
so
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and you know, I'm looking forward to anything you guys put out. And it's, you know, it's like I
thank you.
said, it's just that time where it's just like, man, like if you're an artist, go, you know, and
Exactly.
it's that's the easiest way to put it. Like you know, I really miss doing my show. My show was my first episode of the year. There was kind of a delay because there was a time period from January to February where I was pretty sick and not feeling healthy. And it could have been this virus. It could have
Right.
been just being overtired. I traveled a lot last year, so it could have been that, but it could have been the virus too. You don't fucking nobody knows. You know what I mean?
No.
So I pushed my show to March, and it was that weekend where shit got March 14th where shit got shut down. Then you know I hit up all my guests like a couple days before. I hit up the venue and said, guys, we're gonna have to postpone this until we figure out what's going on. You know,
Right. Right.
one gentleman who was going to be one of the guests on my show. He works for a performance like circus performance collective,
Hmm.
and he had I don't know if he tested positive not too longer after that, but he's actually one of the only people I know who got the virus.
Wow.
Right around that time, so it was that kind of freaked me out as a showrunner and
Sure. Sure.
somebody. I could have been the fucking monkey from Outbreak that fucked up, you know, all my guests and shit.
Right.
But
Your first show, you could have spread it. You know.
yeah,
Well, I'm glad you. Sounds like you made. It sounds like you made. The right decisions.
yeah,
And I know. I'm stoked to hear about your show. I think your whole idea of it. I find fascinating. Even down to the band. So congratulations to you. I'm stoked to like check out
thank you. Yeah,
either, either
yeah, I'll
more
definitely send
episodes
you some
or
footage.
or
You
past
know,
episodes. Yeah.
it's
Oh,
it's it's been a ride. You know.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, so then do you have the stuff that you've done in the past? Like, do you have it in the library or?
I mean, I've been pretty adamant about not streaming it yet, not really filming
Mm,
it. I definitely have some footage of Yukon Tuba. They're pretty prolific in the area. You know,
Hmm.
I remember them from when I was doing stand-up, and they would just pop up on a show and do a set. And they just always made the room feel good. And, you know,
Yeah, they sound
when you're
awesome.
doing a comedy show on a fucking Tuesday night and it's 9:30, people are looking at their watch ready to go home, and you still got to do a set, make people laugh. If motherfuckers roll up on the stage with a tuba and a ukulele, play some wonderful songs and make everybody laugh,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
you need that, you know.
without a doubt, man. And who doesn't like a ukulele or tuba, man?
It's
Gosh,
fucking awesome.
if you don't like a uke and a tuba, I want nothing to do with you. You
Yeah,
know?
and they got a drummer too. They got a drummer now too, so it's uke, tuba, and drum.
Are they
So
called uke and tuba? Because everyone needs to check them out. I'm gonna check them out tonight. Are they called uke and tuba?
yeah, I think it's at uke and tuba. They used to be Uke Skywalker and Tuba Fett, and then they just changed it to
Oh,
uke and tuba.
well, that's good. But you want to know something? You didn't even realize it, but you just did a good segue for me because I think we got into this the other day,
Yes, we
and
did.
a
Perfect.
wonderful memory for me around Halloween as a boy
Hmm.
had nothing to do with a horror movie, but it's a wonderful family moment and it's a real sentimental mood. And I remember on Halloween, I think it was actually Halloween Day in 1977, and my parents took me and my sister and my two brothers to see the original Star Wars,
Oh,
and I
oh wow.
loved that movie and
Hmm.
um, for everything about it. Even to this day, even scenes that seem cheesy, puts me in the best mood. The bar
Oh
scene,
yeah.
the bar scene. I mean, who didn't want to hang out with weirdos like that?
Hmm.
And just the whole story, but also just it's just a great memory of hanging out with my family, and I just thought it was so cool of my parents
Oh
to
yeah.
take us to see that on Halloween. So really good segue, Mario. Nice work.
Very good. Very good. And I
Yeah.
mean, here's the thing. Like, I know you brought up when we were talking the other day that memory and you were going to share that. But if you
Hmm.
think about it, and let's segue back, I'm working my
Sure.
way through, my brain's still working.
Yeah, yeah, of
You
course, of
brought
course.
up Halloween, and
Oh, I
who
love
was the
Halloween.
young boy from Halloween dressed up like?
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. So everything it's back and forth,
It's
like
back and forth.
rubber bands and full circles.
Yep.
I
Ali
love
Frazier.
that. Yeah. Everything. It all makes sense.
It all makes sense.
Yeah. That is such a good movie. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's Star Wars just makes you feel good. And you know,
Oh my
like
God.
even the newer ones, even I find it very hard to be like, and I know a lot of huge Star Wars fans, and like
Mhm.
I'm a Star Wars fan, but not the huge
Right.
Star Wars fans. And you know, I don't have the need to dissect those movies.
Yeah, I'm with
Maybe
you.
it's like a decent cheeseburger at a fast food chain. You're like, okay, that was a good time. In and out, I'm good, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, I'm not complaining that they're doing another Batman. I'm excited to see the next Batman.
Why not?
I'm very cool with that. Some of
Hmm.
them are better than others, yes, but
Hmm.
I'm just gonna say whether I thought it was great or not, or or I enjoyed it or not. That's it. You know.
Right. Right. It's, you know, I mean, it's they're always going to bring Batman back, and they're always going to bring these ideas back. There's always going to be money to be made. After the
Hmm.
last Joker movie made all that money,
Oh,
like it's
forget
going
it.
to be fucking nonstop. And Marvel's taking their break because they made their billions and they got their shows, but DC's they've got some heavy hitters coming up. I
Oh yeah,
mean,
yeah.
to be perfectly honest, the movie I'm most looking forward to is the newest Ghostbusters movie. Like
When is when is that coming out?
it's supposed to be, I believe, March or April of next year, but I wouldn't be shocked if it get pushed to the summer. just wait till everybody gets their vaccine or whatever they got to do. I
Right.
wouldn't be shocked if it gets pushed to the summer. I actually hope it gets pushed to the summer.
But wait, do you know, is it done already?
Yeah, it's done. It
Wow.
was supposed to be out this past summer. They
Yeah.
brought Aykroyd back on the writing team. They brought, I think, all the cast is coming back yet again. And I don't watch movie trailers, and I know there's some trailers out there, but it's and you got Ivan Reitman's son, I believe, is directing it,
Right.
so it's
Wow. Well, the reason I brought up Batman is because someone the other day sent me that trailer, and it looked really
Mhm.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't go searching. You certainly know so much more about films than I do, and I'm loving this. I love what you know. I don't go searching for trailers, but
Mhm.
once in a while someone sends me one, and I'll look, and that one does look really really good. I'm gonna take your advice. I'm not gonna look for the one on the Ghostbusters, and when it comes, it comes.
Yeah, that's the way I've been lately. Like, I did cheat. I did watch the Batman trailer just because it's like, well, what are they going to show me? We all know the story of Batman, How far are they going to go back? Basically, what does everybody look like in the role? But,
Right.
I mean, the tone looks pretty on, and it looks cool.
Yeah.
Trailers are an art of their own. We've talked about that on this show. The trailers are what they
That's
are,
true. Yeah,
so
because some trailers they literally only show you the good stuff in the trailer, and then you see the film and you're just so disappointed.
that's why I don't watch trailers
I mean,
anymore.
that, I
I
mean that
stopped a long time ago, you
that
know.
has happened to me several times, where I was like, man, I almost wish I just watched the trailer. You
Hmm.
know,
Absolutely.
unreal.
But yeah, man. So what haven't we covered? We went everywhere. That was great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that good at this stuff,
No,
so
no,
I,
this is
you
great.
know,
It's a great conversation. It's what this is. It's a conversation. If we were on stage in my show, we would just be conversating back and forth
right?
and crack some jokes in the middle, or I would wait
Yeah,
for a time to crack a joke. I mean, that's how things
cheers and
go. It's the art of conversation,
yeah. Cheersing and toasting a couple of times in person, like banging glasses and having a glass of wine or a pint, that also breaks things down pretty easy. You
Yeah,
know,
I think that's why I do a dinner before my show for the guests because a lot of my guests don't know one another. And,
right?
to see people who are like, you know, who I know, but they don't know each other, people who are like a pro fighter, like a pro MMA fighter, talking with somebody who is a chef, or
Right.
a teacher talking to a lawyer, talking to a heavy metal band, who are putting on a festival. Like it's a good
Right.
togetherness kind of vibe, and like I never set out to do it that way. It's just the way I operate, so that's the way it is. You know what I mean?
That sounds amazing. And I'm sure there's no lulls. I mean, each person is interested in what the other person does. I'd love to have dinner with an MMA fighter.
Oh
You know.
yeah, yeah. They're some of the most
Yeah.
interesting people. You get some great stories out of them. Like literally, I've had and there was a fighter that who I'm friends with who I actually ended up sponsoring her because she told such great stories on my show, and she had such a great story and a great background. Where I was like, I'm gonna make T-shirts for you. You could have 100% of the profit. You know
Wow.
and then
Wow.
and then it breeds a life of its own, just like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, man, you're doing some good work yourself.
Trying, man,
Yeah.
trying.
Yeah. Thank you for helping out people. It seems like you're doing some good things for people.
Well, people do a lot good for me, and them just showing up and wanting to be a part of it, you wanting to be a part of this, all my
Yeah.
other guests, is all good. And it's like, as artists, we always feel we need to do more and more and more. And,
Hmm.
sometimes we get ourselves in ruts where, you know, I definitely have because I've went from music to film school to comedy to back to film school, back to
Right.
music, then to comedy, and then once that totally bottomed out for me, I realized, well, maybe this is the thing that I wanted to do all along, and that's just a gathering of people and kind of orchestrate this madness of
Yeah.
people, you know?
Yeah, you're acting as a facilitator. You just you're like, hey, this person over here, I think he needs to meet this woman right here, and the
Right?
two of
Yeah,
them, when
yeah.
I walk away, may make magic or something. You know.
Yeah, yeah, who knows? Who knows? I've definitely seen some cool shit, and with a talk show, you don't know how people are going to be. Like some people open up and they take it
Mhm.
really deep, and I always felt humbled by that because I didn't even ask those questions.
Right.
When
Right.
people talk about addictions or when people talk about things they've been through, and you just let them do their thing. If they want to open up and put that out there and work their way through that, I just kick back and listen because it's what the show's about. I'm
Right. Right.
never pushed for it, but sometimes you get those moments where it's like, holy shit. But
Right.
then it
Yeah.
comes with this whole journey we're on. I don't mean to go
Right.
all deep and kumbaya, but we're all in this like weird little journey. That is what
I
it is.
I agree. I agree. And those surprises are so pleasant. You know, you'll take them. You'll take them. You'll take them every time. Yeah.
I'll take it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, to make it way back to West End Motel, you guys
Mhm.
are recording. You're working on
Yeah.
the new record. How far into it are you guys? I know you're all busy. You all have different things going on.
Right. Yeah. Well, um, certainly the pandemic had something to do with all of this, and also the way we're gonna put it out, So we're releasing a single a month, and that's gone real well. And all the witches, of course, you know that was on purpose for October 1st for this month. The best time of year, it's wonderful. And next 2 weeks, November 1st, December 1st, there'll be a new single out every month. And
Oh, that's awesome.
we've been doing some live shows. We did something for Save Our Stages uh,
Mm-hmm.
to help out our brothers and sisters, and then we do more of that. And then I think in the spring, when it looks like we have 8 or 9 or 10 singles that have been out, we'll put that together on a beautiful piece of vinyl and a piece of artwork on cardboard, and then sell that as a record, probably as a vinyl record, but with probably 1 or 2 more songs on it that people haven't heard.
Mm-hmm.
Also, listen, we know some people just love owning vinyl. I know I do.
I
Um,
do too.
so there's several ideas still that we're talking about for titles of it, but we feel great about it, and talking with guys like you is so great.
I
We
appreciate that.
we appreciate your interest, and thank you for that. And
Absolutely.
hey, what's up, Miggy in Denver?
What up,
My
Miggy? I don't know who you are, but what's up? Thank you for tuning in.
Miggy's beautiful man. Had such a good time with him when we played some shows in Denver and hung out. And he's a fantastic old, like 45s, like 45 like records DJ of just old soul and reggae. Fantastic.
Awesome.
Um, as I'm talking to you right now, I'm gonna have to plug my phone in. I'm so not like responsible, Mario. I'm really sorry about this.
Dude, it's rock and roll, man. What the fuck? You don't have to worry about your phone being charged. This is rock and roll.
Day. All right, I got a few more minutes I could talk,
Okay.
but yeah, no, so same as you, Dan, I'm gonna look right at you. The same as you, we feel, we're all in this together, and appreciate everyone who it's all we need to do. Graybeard from Wales, what's up, Graybeard?
What's up, Graybeard?
we know we're on this together, and we do need to talk and communicate, and virtual high fives and hugs, and
Yeah.
just try to do the best we can, and that's all I'm doing. That's all we're doing. That's all everyone's doing, and
Yeah.
I mean, I basically, I live in New York, and I got my stuff out of New York, and
Hmm.
I'm in Atlanta hanging out with family, which has been wonderful, and
Hmm.
then my brothers and my family in West End, and working
Hmm.
on music that we believe in and that we're trying to, I don't know, just trying to give people 2 minutes and 3 minute snippets of not thinking about the world and their problems, and give
Hmm.
them a dream of a song or something that they can maybe make them smile or think, or
Right.
smile and think for a minute, so
Hmm.
you know and that's what we're striving for, that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the silver lining, is that we're going to get through this doing our own thing, you know?
We are, man, for sure. And
Yeah.
um, you know, the thing is the worst fears that we've had up until now, I think they're behind us.
Oh, yeah.
We know we
Yeah.
know
We're
we
seeing the
know
light now.
yeah,
Hmm.
we know we got this. And if it's us getting online and talking and trying to tell other people, hey man, you got this. I'm willing to do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it every few weeks if you need it. As long as someone gives me a glass of red wine, I could do anything. You know.
Yeah.
Um, it's really, really good. Stoked to share new West End songs with everyone, and stoked to think that maybe next year, when things get, the weather gets better. Like, and what I mean by that is the climate of negativity in the world. Because we know us. We're sweethearts and we're kind, but there's a
Right.
lot of negativity in the world right now. We hope
Oh,
that
absolutely.
change.
Absolutely.
We hope that changes, and we hope certainly things get closer to normal, and then we could see people and play music, and shit, man. Maybe one day hug each other.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's couldn't put it more better than that, you know? Like I just thought of this out of nowhere. Like you've seen Apocalypse Now, right?
Oh, love that movie. Yes.
So remember when Martin Sheen's like, every moment I'm in this hotel room getting weaker and
Mhm.
Charlie's out in the bush getting stronger?
Yes.
We got to be Charlie out in the bush getting stronger.
Wow,
Because
that's wonderful.
when shit opens up, we gotta we gotta just put our foot on the gas and just because it's going to be up to the entertainers to make
Hmm.
people feel comfortable to be
Yes.
around people again, and it's I definitely feel like, especially experiencing what almost and what could have happened in March at my show, I feel like I'm 100% responsible to make people feel safe again. And I think every
Without a doubt.
artist kind of has that feeling, because you
Yeah.
always want a safe environment for
Yeah.
who's coming to
Yeah.
see you perform. So it's going to be up to us, whether it's my
Yeah.
show with 10, 15 people, or your show with a couple thousand people, or Brent's
Hmm.
shows, or anybody's shows. Like,
Without a
it's
doubt.
going to be
Yeah.
up to us to be fucking, all right, here we go, you know?
Yeah. Well, I couldn't have said that any better. Um, we just, I'm ready. I know you're ready. Well, one, I'm glad you're healthy, and it
Oh, yeah.
sounds like you made, you've been making sound decisions like the whole time, which is really wonderful. So you're a smart guy, and who I know you've worn a lot of hats, hosting shows, playing music, films, comedy. You know,
It's one thing to the next, you know? It's just loving the creative process and
oh,
just
without a
doing.
doubt. Well, thank you for everything that you're doing, and thank you for your interest in me, and thank you for saying hello. And I can't wait till I'm in Pittsburgh.
Fuck
Um,
yeah.
it's been forever since I've been in Pittsburgh, and man, it's a good goal to have. I'll put it down on a sticky note and throw it on a wall.
Come to
2021.
Pittsburgh, I'll book it. We've got venues.
Yeah.
The other coffee house I do my show, they just opened up a new venue. Oh my God, we got 30 seconds left.
Okay.
Basically, they just opened up a new venue. We'll book you. Fuck
Yeah.
it.
Well,
But
listen, much love and respect. Thank you for having me. And thanks a lot.
thank you for being a part of this, Tom. It's been a wonderful conversation. I'm sure we'll have many more. All right.
We will. And you guys stay safe and one love.
Absolutely.